What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team Art TFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of That's not Good Times with Retro Rich. That right there, that says Good Times Newsline. The heck is that? I have no idea what that is either, but I guess we're just gonna find out. All right, cool. So I got this this thing here. It's kind of old. I gotta admit, I wrote this, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something. It was something I wanted to kick around because we were getting the Amico / Evercade / everything else news Firehose. And, you know, like, what I mean Firehose, I mean...
You get to drink from the fire hose! Open wide!
That kind of fire hose, right? So anyway, so what I plan to do is actually this whole show idea, this little mini show idea, might actually occur on in another environment completely outside of the Bacon Ice Cream Studios. We're not there today because, well, kind of want to just get this video out and done. To see how people think about it, or like, oh, well, Rich, we got enough of that news from all of the other sources that we watch videos from. We don't need it from you. Don't even worry about it. And if that's the way it goes, that's fine. It's cool. But if not, and you guys like it, hey, give me the thumbs. If you're new here, go ahead and hit sub, and don't miss anything. What I kind of want to do is just grab some of the headlines and stuff like that I've seen over the week's time, and just kind of do like a roll-up show and say like, hey, let's check in with what's been going on. Now, obviously, there's been a lot more since this sheet, and I'll gloss over some of it or edit some of the news items that are on this list and update them to today's standards. But it's just something I'm thinking about, I'm kicking around, and, hope you guys like it. So anyway, let's dig in. So, in top stories, we have what I'm now going to call the Amico News Roundup. That's that thing right over there. The fire hose of information was it was just an onslaught from way back when. So here's all the things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. They got the new URL, the Intellivision.com URL. So no more IntellivisionEntertainment.com or IntellivisionAmico.com. It's just Intellivision.com, and you can go straight there. So that's kind of cool. It helps people find the site better, and it actually looks great on marketing, like shirts and stuff. If it's just Intellivision.com or something like that on the back, it looks better than like whole string of words and sentences.com, because people will forget a word or misspell it or something like that. Just makes it easier to find stuff. And of course, they announced that Topps gift card partnership. They're going to be the producers of all of the cards. It's a cool partnership to have because, of course, well, who better to do the gift card processing than a company that's already doing them? They already know what to do. They already have the pathways to create the cards. Seems like a win-win to me. And, well, who knows? If they're working with Topps, maybe it means awesome stuff in the future. Like maybe, you get to dip into some of the things that Topps already has licenses for. That they do literally cards and digital cards for everything. So if it's they do them for MLB, they do them for Star Wars, they used to do them for NFL. I still think they do NHL and NBA. They do all sorts of other like movie properties and other games and stuff. I think they do the WWE game. Like they do all sorts of stuff. So it's collectors stuff abound, and if they tap into that, Garbage Pail Kids, like that kind of stuff, you put it all together. It's good times. So the Amico launch window has now widened just a little bit. Of course, we already knew most of that from most of the other sources. Instead of 4, 3, 2, 1 for the founders and, well, for everyone, I guess. it's now going to be 10/10/21, which of course it's a great thing. I think it's a Sunday, so that's going to be a cool thing as far as the retailers go for it, and as founders, as I am one of them. We should be getting ours probably sometime earlier that week, so we can crack open the boxes, start doing our thing and doing our streams and all sorts of stuff. So that'll be kind of cool. I plan on doing all sorts of fun stuff when I get my Founders Edition. I want to take it, of course, upstairs and play with the fam and do some videos with them. I also work in an environment where a lot of other people might want to like join in the fun, so I want to invite them in and do some videos and reactions of what all of people of all different ages might think of it. So that'd be kind of fun. So anyway, is it a bummer? Well, of course, I've been really wanting to play this thing for a really, really, really long time, but wait a little longer, it's going to be fine. It's all good. So Space Strikers gameplay vid also dropped in the last 2 weeks. That was pretty cool. So initial reactions on that. So with Space Strikers, it's definitely, to me, the thing that screams party game. Party game, party game, party game. So am I going to be playing a lot of this by myself? I don't know. Maybe if I'm going to practice, we get into some kind of inter-family rivalry and people want to come over and challenge each other all the time. Okay, sure. Maybe I'll throw in a couple games against the CPU and do that. But I think really this is the game that you play with everybody else. This is the after dinner game. This is the during a party game. This is all sorts of stuff where you just sit down and you have a good time and you play. So I'm super looking forward to it because I like the concept. I like the whole concept of Warlords meets some kind of soccer-ish thing meets weird, possibly Rocket League kind of thing. I dig it. And it definitely looks like the developers are having a good time making the game. And if they're having a good time, then that usually leads to everybody else having a good time too. So I'm all about that. And I look forward to seeing more. Couch in the Woods, who's the developer, says that they're going to have some update videos come in pretty soon with them playing on Amico hardware in an environment where they could have all the controllers and all that kind of stuff. Just saw a video, or a picture rather, today, date of recording, of Tommy Tallarico sharing the inside scoop inside the Intellivision headquarters, where they're putting together phase 3 of some dev kits, and maybe one of those is going to wind up in Couch in the Woods' hands if they haven't already received theirs. So that could be pretty cool, and we'll see some more videos coming out soon. So the next thing that came down the fire hose of information was the Bomb Squad teaser. That was kind of like what you would consider maybe even a technical powerhouse kind of moment, right? Now, is it PS5, Xbox Series X? Of course not. That's not what the whole point is. But it did show that the Amico is actually a little more powerful than we might have thought, which is kind of cool. So that this opens the door maybe to other forms of 3D generated graphics or 3D generated backgrounds in a 2.5D game, or all sorts of other things that we didn't even think were possible, that now we can see that, man, this thing can actually push out some pretty decent graphics. So maybe we can think about other types of games and in displaying them in other types of ways. So that'd be kind of cool. The next thing was the Amico GameStop launch kind of thing. Now what that meant was GameStop started actually physically advertising inside of the store. So there were these different end cap displays that were pictured over here. See if I can find one. I'll throw it up there. If not, I'm just going to look dumb and pointing at things that didn't exist. But they're in the stores. They're ready to rock. It's getting the name out there, which is kind of cool. Now, why now? Why not, right? Just put the picture of the Amico out there. It's the only system, side of maybe the Switch Pro that they're talking about, it's the only system that's going to be out anytime soon. You know, PS5's already launched, and Xbox Series X and Series S are out. So, you know, we don't have to worry about, oh, we're going to muscle in on time for launches of it. I mean, we're talking, this is almost going to be a full year post-launch of both the Xbox and the PlayStation before we even, you know, see the Amico. So, I mean, get the word out, because why not, right? Because the more people think about, oh, what's this Amico thing? And they're in the GameStop, they're going to start talking to their friends or mom and dad, or, you know, like they're going to do some research and find out, oh, well, you know, like grandma, grandpa, or my kids might want to play this thing. And then they start, you know, it starts the train, right? You know, besides us here in the small YouTube community, just kind of pushing out the word, doing what we can to bring, you know, lots of more people to the Amico community, that's a big impact. And as I scoot on over here, you know, not only is it in the website and in the stores and those end caps displays the week of February 21st to the 27th. Now, this obviously is coming out on the 11th or 12th of March, whenever I finish editing. Obviously, this is dated material, but right in the ad, you know, in the physical ads that were actually in the store, there it is. There it is right there. There's that GameStop Galaxy Purple Amico right there, ready for pre-order. I mean, that's cool. It's cool that they have a slot at all in the ad, because not a lot of things, except for things that are just on sale, go in those ads. So to have Amico in the ad is actually kind of a cool win too. So that's pretty awesome. And the last thing on the Firehose of information was they did another reaction video for the Breakout trailer, which was awesome. Of course, for me, it was one of those ones where I didn't even wait for the studio. I couldn't wait for the studio. I knew I couldn't get down here to record a video. I had to react to the Breakout trailer, because that was one of the games, if not the game, outside of Cloudy Mountain, that I wanted to see more of. And it didn't disappoint when I saw it. It just made me want the game more. And basically, that was my entire reaction, going through the entire trailer and looking at it and that kind of stuff. It was pretty awesome. And it was cool to see everybody else's reaction kind of like glommed together into one long video. It was neat. It was neat to see, and, you know, brings, again, a little more, I don't know, pizzazz, or a little more, you know, PR or whatever. Just, you know, Intellivision is realizing that there are more and more and more people, because there was a lot of new faces in that video that are getting into this thing, and the longer this goes, the more people are getting into it. So, I mean, it's just nothing but good signs for them, which is cool. So let's shift gears and talk about my other favorite buddy, the Evercade. So in the Evercade Corner, as I'm calling this little segment, I had my first item, and it was just fans are the best, because they are. The fan community for the Amico is awesome. The fan community for the Evercade is awesome as well. It's just really cool to be hanging out with all these different people that love the Evercade and love the Amico, and they're all over Facebook forums and Twitter, and they pop in the chats and all of our shows and all sorts of stuff. It's just really awesome to see the community growing, and it's just so awesome that some of these other fans have the time to put in really strong work and do some really cool things, like the Evercade World Cup. Now, on the non-official group on Facebook, and if you guys don't know what the non-official Evercade fans group is, I think I'm going to put a link in the description. You guys got to check that out. There's a whole bunch of really awesome people doing really awesome stuff. Now, what was the World Cup? So what they did was they took all 160 games that were out at this time, and they basically had a round-robin tournament against each other. So there was like a sea of, I think is 8 at first, and that moved to 4, that moved to 2, that moved to, series of 1 matchups that led to the final. And then, it was all voting. It was all vote-based. So they put out the list of games, and then whichever one got the most votes in that group moved on to the next group, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until there was a winner. And this thing here, my little note here was saying that it was round 5, the quarterfinals were there. Well, that's gone. Goodbye. See ya. Because the final actually happened over the last weekend. And lo and behold, a game that if you saw at the beginning, all 160 games, was this game going to be on my list? No. Is it a great game? Absolutely. But it was going to be on my list? Absolutely not. But congratulations to Galaga, because Galaga is indeed the victor of the first ever Evercade World Cup in the fans' unofficial Facebook group. So long, hard fought battle, guys, but it got there. Now, what would I want there? I don't know. Brave Battle Saga. It's pretty good. Anything really on Pico was pretty good. Of course, my number 2 and number 3 slot, I don't still think have changed. That's Atari Collection 1 and 2. Any one of those games would have been awesome on there. And of course, not a lot of people are into that older stuff. They're not a lot, into the Atari 2600 scene. I get it. I mean, they're getting old. I have to rub it in. But yeah, I mean, one of those games would have been cool. But I mean, Galaga was pretty good. It was up against Xenocrisis, which is a contender in and of itself. Xenocrisis is such a great game. So that was pretty cool. And just thanks everyone for putting together all this fun stuff to enjoy, to participate in, and to look at, which leads us to their next item, which is the Evercade Fanzine. So Evercade Fanzine number 2 came out just a little bit ago. I'm going to pop, again, links in there. Join the group. Try to find it. Go to Evercade Info Central. I'm going to link that into. You find the Evercade Fanzine. There's 2 issues. They had to take a little pause for some kind of logistics reasons. We wish them luck. We hope that they come back together soon and start putting out new stuff, because, man, that fanzine is solid. It is great stuff to read. And it's a PDF. It's free. Go in and check it out and read yourself some really cool articles. It's basically like getting in a time machine, going back to the 90s, and reading another issue of GamePro if GamePro was all about the Evercade. It's awesome. It's awesome stuff. It's really cool. And a little birdie told me that when they start doing stuff, they might ask this guy to put some stuff in there. And who knows? Maybe if I get the time and I can write well enough, maybe you'll see some stuff in the next issue. So it's cool stuff. Definitely check it out. The next time you see, moving on, the Evercade live session. Now, those are the guys that are across the pond over in England. They get a whole bunch of friends together and they chat Evercade about once a month. The next time you see that group, there might be somebody from this side of the pond in there. Again, it's this guy. In episode 6, I might be stopping in and checking it out. Now, an interesting thing is, at the time of this recording, I didn't realize, or at the time of even me signing up for the live session episode, that I didn't realize I was going to be away on a trip, because it was kind of impromptu. But I will take my my laptop with me. I'll have all my camera stuff, so we can go ahead and do that. I will be available to do that. It's just the setting around me might be a little different. So cool stuff. Definitely good stuff. There's 5 more episodes. Go back and watch them. They're on YouTube on the It's Much More channel, which is down in the description below. I will put a link to that. Check it out. It's a fun time. So, and then hopefully I'll see you guys. I think it's next week is the recording. If not, and it's the week after that, then it won't. None of that matters. Forget everything I just said, and I will be here on that Thursday, the recording right here in the studio. So next, the Evercast. It's the other great show that talks about Evercade every week on OEB Pete's channel with myself and OEB Pete and Ed, who's also known as Retro Kill-9 on various platforms. Check everybody out. If you guys are getting to me and you do not know who OEB Pete is, come on, get down there. Get down in the description, hit that link, go in, hit subscribe. He does videos. I don't even know how. He's a machine. He's just like it's insane, the amount of content that he puts out. It's just well worth a watch too, because he's getting real good at it. You know, it's just so much fun to watch him go. And he covers everything. He covers retro stuff. He covers Evercade stuff. He covers the Amico stuff. He covers the Nintendo Switch. He covers all modern games. He does all sorts of different. It's like he's running his own network. You might as well just call it OEB Retro Game Network or something like that. I don't know. It's just alphabet soup of stuff. But just trust me. Go over and check him out. He's awesome. But as far as the Evercast goes, we are still working on the Atari Lynx Collection 1, which is firmly deposited in this Evercade as we speak. We did our first episode last week, and because of the travel, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. It might be just OEB, Pete, and Ed, sad face, because I will be wheels up on a device that will be moving us from wherever we are to wherever we're going, and back on the same day of the Evercast both times. So 2 weeks, possibly. I might not be there, but rest assured, I will be doing all my capture. I will do all my links, homework, and I'll be getting that stuff off to Pete so we can be ready for the show. And if I can make it, or we move or shift to the time of the Evercast to accommodate my travel, which I would be greatly appreciative of course I will jump in and say hi to you guys too. But either way, check it out, because it's the Evercast and it's awesome, and I just love so much. I love doing that show. It's so cool. Also in the Evercade Corner, OEB Pete again, just knocking down barriers, busting into boardrooms, and getting deals done. The Intellivision Entertainment Group and Blaze Entertainment are coming together. They're doing a cartridge, and it's 2 cartridges actually. Go on OEB Pete's channel, watch the announcement video for the Intellivision cartridges. There's 2 collections that are confirmed as of this time. The first collection, I think, has 17 games or something like on it. They've released information on the first 3. I want to say it's Frog Bog, Astro Smash, and I always forget the third one. The last time I did this, I got the other 2, and then not Frog Bog. But definitely Astro Smash, and definitely Frog Bog, and definitely whatever that other game was. And they were all pretty good. And it's probably sitting over there just mocking me right now, as I forgot whatever that game was. It's in here. It's right here. Read it. Read, Rich. Read the paper. It's Night Stalker. And of course, you know I'm ordering this thing. This is just off the rails, this first episode. I expect every single one of you to just be like, nah, man. Get it together, Rich. Get it together. Anyway, so I'm going to order that thing, and it's going to be awesome. So it's cool. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So moving on to something completely different. Actually, no one really ever talks about this, but I do, because I really like it. It was a Kickstarter project for a new game that is a spiritual successor to Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. That game is called Into the Eternal, and man, oh man, did the creator of that Kickstarter, not only to have a successful Kickstarter, he doubled the amount of money that was on the ask, so he's got a little bit of an extra budget to really dig in and make this game great, which is awesome. So congrats to, I think it's Zero Infinite Games, I think that's the name. Zero Infinite Games, I got it. So congrats to Zero Infinite Games on a successful Kickstarter, but man, oh man, did they have so many updates. There's new screenshots that are on the Kickstarter. I'm going to link it in the description. There's new videos, there's new updates on gameplay. He's changing like all sorts of crazy stuff. So in the very beginning, it was basically a complete love letter to Zelda 2. It was a new map, but all of the tropes were there. The isometric 2D kind of like traversal levels, and then the side-scrolling 2D action levels and the dungeons. Now he's got a full 3D explorative world, kind of like a Ocarina of Time meets Zelda 2 now. So that's kind of cool. He's putting in all sorts of different things where you can have customizable like hats and armor, and like you gain XP on them now, and that wasn't the case in the very beginning. He's expanding the dungeons. He's expanding all sorts of other crazy stuff going on. It's just, he's putting all this crazy work into this thing, and I'm super happy because it's a Kickstarter game, right? So, I mean, maybe he was just trying to like get enough to get this game out so that he could use it on his, in his resume, right? It's like, let me do this resume builder project, put it in my portfolio. Everybody that helped me make the project, of course, gets a copy of the game. They're happy, they get to play, so I'd be happy to play the game. And then we're just going to move on. But man, he's really kind of putting some serious effort into this, and I just got to applaud. I mean, I don't even know, like he or she or the team. Could be one person, could be many. I think it is just one person though, because they seem to only update at a certain amount of time, and every post is written in a certain way. So I think it is just one person just putting this stuff together, and I couldn't applaud them enough to do that. And the game is going to be available on just about all of the modern platforms. So PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Switch. So Xbox being 1 and One X, PlayStation being 4 and 4 Pro, and then of course the Switch and PC for Steam, I'm imagining. So you can get them all over the place when the game releases. I don't know exactly what he's going to be asking as far as price goes, but I think it's solidly worth at least a $30 digital download, like that kind of thing. I think that's the amount of effort that's being put in. I think he's going to be able to ask that and get that, so that'd be pretty cool. And on top of it all, I mean, it's just a really cool project to like kind of like help out and push into the world and get people to play. So anyway, link in the description for that in the Kickstarter. Check it out. It's Into the Eternal by Zero Infinite Games. I'm saying it's probably going to be good times. The other big breaking news that happened, I did a video just a little bit about it, and this is our last story of the week, which turned into a snowball, actually, is the Audacity Games story. Now, what's Audacity Games? It's a collection of older Activision game creators, and we're talking David Crane and Gary and Dan Kitchen. So David Crane, of course, we all know him. He created Pitfall. Gary Kitchen created Keystone Capers. Dan Kitchen created Crackpots on the Atari 2600 in the Activision days. They're getting back together, and they formed this company called Audacity Games, and they're putting out new Atari 2600 games. Now, that was basically the story, like a little bit more. It looks like they're using a 256K cart, which is like a huge cartridge for the Atari 2600. That's a huge ROM. It's way bigger than most ROMs on any of the original Atari 2600 games, in my recollection. Go in the comments and tell me I'm wrong or whatever, but I think that's correct. That I don't think they've even hit that big as far as the ROMs go. And we didn't know much back then. We didn't know much other than, hey, there's this company and there's going to be an announcement soon. Well, now we know, based on a press release that came out just a little bit ago, that not only is it are there going to be games coming out soon, there's going to be games coming out on Saturday. That's crazy, right? So the first game is going to be a David Crane and Gary Kitchen collaboration. That game is going to be called Circus Convoy. Now, the Atari Creep got on the scoop right away on his birthday. Happy belated, by the way. I wish him a happy birthday, but still, in the video. Hey, man, it's birthday week. You get a birthday from me anyway in the video. So happy birthday, man. But he did the scoop, had a great video. He read the entire press release. I'm not going to read it again here because it's just be too long and all that kind of stuff. But needless to say, it's going to be a pretty cool game, and it's brand new. They think they might have been working on it over the last couple years, like in secret, like, oh, we're working on a game. And then I think the name slipped, and it's possible, because I remember that box art from somewhere. I was reading, like, I don't know, Atari Age or somewhere a couple years ago. I saw that. And then the other thing that I saw was the other game that's in the list that's going to come out in the summer. We'll talk about that in a second. But this game, Circus Convoy, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And it's like a new Activision game. just not made by Activision, obviously. So what is it? It's a multi-screen action-adventure game, and you're supposed to be trying to find this saboteur on a convoy, right? This convoy of different vehicles that is running down the highway, and you're jumping from vehicle to vehicle, and certain vehicles you can like go in them, and then when you get in there, there's like mini games inside of it, which is kind of cool. It's like weird because there's not a lot of games out there except for maybe Sword Quest that in my recollection that had like a primary game objective that wasn't, that was multi-screen, that changed the element of play when you got into like your second or third screen, where you're almost playing a completely different game, and then you go back to like the main level and do that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, in an 8-bit game, like anything above Atari 2600, of course, that's most other side-scrolling action games in the 8-bit and up genre. But this is specifically for the second generation and Atari 2600. Again, outside of the Sword Quest games, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, and that's kind of cool. So, I mean, I'm all about that. I'm all about the fact that it's a new like Activision game made by the people that have made some of the greatest games ever that coming out of that era. And it's so awesome that they were like, oh, hey, we have this company. Then they do the announcement, oh, we're going to have games that are going to come out pretty soon. Then the press release comes out, and it's like, here's Circus Convoy. We're releasing this information. I think it was the 10th, right? Yeah, it was yesterday, the 10th. And it's coming out on the 13th. The game is releasing on Saturday. That's crazy. I'm totally picking this up. And anyone that wants to come back, we're going to do a Good Times with Retro Rich, of course, on that. When I'm not going to be able to get my hands on it anytime outside of before I get back home. So I'll be gone for a week. So the following week, I'll probably be doing stuff. But I heard that you can get a digital download of this game as well. And if it's like Steam or something can be played on a computer, I'm going to have my laptop with me. So maybe we'll work something out, and we'll do some cool stuff and at least cover the game. And I'll give you initial impressions. Maybe we'll even do a review or something like that. That'd be kind of cool, right? So anyways, I'm super hype. And the best part about it is, with the Audacity Games announcement, just like Activision, all these games are going to have some type of way. Now, I don't know if you need to buy the special collector's edition in order to qualify, or if you need to do something else. But if you get certain high scores, where did it go? Where did it go? If you get certain high scores, they can send away and get patches like this. Tasty patch. Yeah. All right, anyway. That's mind-blowing, right? Because for those that don't know, and please explore the Bacon Ice Cream Productions channel for more, I did a big episode on the patches in general, where I was talking about another game called Sequest, which is another one of my favorite games of the Atari 2600 and Activision genres from Steve Cartwright. I did a huge episode where I talked about the game's history, and then I went after the score to qualify for the patch that I was having in my hand. Spoiler alert, I got that patch because I had it in my hand. But I'd ordered one on eBay and played through the game in order, to see if I could, actually obtain the score to get the patch. And I did a recording and made it a part of the video, which was fun. It was super fun. I totally want to do more. Don't fear not, folks, that are actually looking for more of those kind of Perfect Score Returns episodes. The ice is melting outside, and the things that I would like to do for the subsequent episodes of Perfect Score Returns require me to be outside to shoot some of this stuff that I want to shoot for, like the skits and like that kind of thing. So fear not. Then the weather's warming up a little bit. I'm going to be ramping up that, and you should be seeing Perfect Score Returns episodes returning to the channel very soon. So that's something that I'm really, really, really looking forward to. But anyway, so we've got Circus Convoy. That's coming out on, again, Saturday, March 13th. And on top of this, there's another game called Casey's Gold. This used to be another game. Back in 2019, it was announced as a game called Gold Rush, and that caught my attention because that was one of Gary Kitchen's games. he was it's Dan Kitchen making a spiritual successor to one of Gary Kitchen's games, which was Keystone Capers. So sorry about that. I just flubbed all of that stuff. But this Gold Rush game came out of, I think, like an old tech demo for the spiritual successor to Keystone Capers, where the Keystone Capers character was on a train or something like that, and I don't know if they were supposed to chase down another robber on the train to like catch him before he got off with the gold or something like that or whatever. But apparently the game has changed, and it changed again and to become Casey's Gold. So the game itself might not even be like it used to be. And I'll try to put some footage of stuff of some of that stuff up there. But this new game, we don't know much about it, and we don't know when we're going to get footage, but we do know it's going to be coming out in the summer. So March through then is going to be, that's all about this new title, Circus Convoy, and then Audacity is going to be releasing another one in the summer. So within that kind of release schedule, if there is other games that are going to be worked on, it seems pretty cool. You know, about like once a quarter, the team putting out something, or maybe even like once a year or twice a year, you know, sometime in the beginning of the year and then sometime in the middle of the year. Hey, if it's successful and they keep making these games, man, that's super awesome. I know that there's tons of people in the homebrew community, and I've been dipping my toe into that. You know, on the Intellivision side, trying to look at stuff like that. That Intellivision game like looks really, really, really intriguing. I kind of want to just pick that up. Maybe I will. But the cool thing about the Atari 2600 stuff for me is, one, it's the Activision stuff is stuff that I grew up with and I have an overwhelming amount of nostalgia for. But also, technically, I've got a Retron 77 and that game's probably going to work in there, which means I can do HDMI capture, and I can't really necessarily do HDMI capture on my Intellivision. So I, right now, have preferred things I'm doing the capture for the Atari games just because I have the hardware to do it. But I also want those patches. So anyway, that's pretty much that. It was, like I said, it was the Firehose, man. The Firehose. You know, it's just, there was so much information. Now, will I be doing this every week? I don't know, maybe. Maybe I'll do it, you know, and then cut it shorter, because this episode is probably super, super long. So, you know, I'll see what I can do, and if there's stuff to talk about, I'll do it. If there's not, then I don't know. I'm not going to make up news just to talk about stuff, just to have a show. I feel like that's not going to be good for anyone involved. But hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys stuck around. And, you know, hop in the comments. You know, give me a like. Let me know what's going on. You know, if you're new here, again, sub for more. We're going to be all sorts of crazy stuff. A little tidbit, I was a absolute crazy person. And by the time I get back from the trip, there'll be something else that we can check out together on the channel, because, I don't know, I went on eBay and there was something, and I hit a button. There's going to be a box that's going to come into my house. I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody help me. I'm just trying to like fill space between now and when the Amico comes out so I can do more content. And I know I'm filled in a room that has all this stuff that I could be talking about, but I don't know. It's just something about that box. I just wanted it, and now it's on the way. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, we will catch you next time for some Good Times Newsline. Yeah, I'm Rich. We'll see you later.
TeamRTFC.BaconIceCream.com